there should be no reason why, if you go through a red light in a car or you go through a red light on a bike, that you should get the same punishment. It's as simple as that. It's dangerous, it is unwieldy, and there are so many people on bikes nowadays and on e-scooters and all manner of other contraptions that they ride around town in, that they need to be held accountable. And if they do run into a pedestrian, if they do run into a car, if they do scrape the side of their pedal along the side of your car, and they can't just cycle off and forget that it ever happened. They can't just film everybody else doing whatever it is that they do while they remain completely and utterly anonymous. It is wrong, it is wrong-headed, it is dangerous, and quite frankly, it is irresponsible. The thing that I find extraordinary is there are so many cyclists who think that it's wrong that they should be held accountable for what they do. They think they should be able to do whatever they like. They think that they can actually forget about the law. They don't have to obey the highway code. Yeah, there's a cycle lane over there, but they don't have to use it. They can cycle down the road the wrong way. It doesn't matter to them. They can go through as many red lights as they like. They can go really, really fast across a pedestrian crossing. They can run into people and just keep going. Why? Because they seem to be averse to the law. Why do they think they're above the law, and why do they go to such extents to actually make sure that nobody knows who they are? What's it all about? I find an awful lot of cyclists to be very, very strange people indeed. They seem to think that they are somehow an elite. They are somehow better than everybody else. They are somehow people who should be looked up at and people who should not be held accountable for anything that they do. They think they can do no wrong. And I think that is the problem. I'm all for people who want to cycle safely and who want to cycle within the law, who want to stop at red lights, who want to exercise their common sense, and who wish to cycle to work instead of driving or taking the bus. I'm all for that. But what I'm not for is this kind of irresponsible attitude that they don't have to actually be identifiable, that they don't have to ride a vehicle that has a registration plate on it, that they don't have to have insurance just in case something goes wrong, that they don't have to be recognisable by any camera of any kind in the street. They are not a special case. They are not an elite group of people. They are simply road users like everybody else, and as a road user, you need to be identifiable and held accountable. It's as simple as that. We'll be talking to Nick Freeman. I think this idea from the government is a great one, and the sooner they do it, the better. And don't listen to these cyclists who say, oh, but it will discourage people from cycling. Well, why? Are you criminals? Do you not wish to be known as a cyclist? What are you hiding? Identify yourself. Wear something where people can tell who you are, where you come from, and what your address is in case you're involved in an accident, because that's what car drivers have to do, and that's what taxi drivers have to do, and that's what lorry drivers have to do, and that's what van drivers have to do. What makes you so special as cyclists? You're not special, okay? Just get with the programme. Let's talk to Mike, who's in Poole. Hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike. Yeah, can I say, I think you're on a bit of a fanatical crusade here.
Well, I don't think it's a fanatical crusade, because the Minister of the Crown is also in favour of what I would like to see. So I don't think the Minister is a fanatic, do you?
I think he is a fanatic, because you're going down the lines of just insanity. It's not enforceable, any of this.
Why is it insanity to register somebody who wants to use the road along with every other person who's registered to use the road?
Because if anything happens, if I was to run over yourself, let's say, and I was in my motor car, we can identify who Mike is.
Yes.
You don't need a registration plate around your neck in order for everybody, all in sundry, to know exactly who you are.
Yeah, but if you're on a bicycle and you run into me and you damage me and you hurt me, I don't know who you are. There's no way of identifying who you are, is there?
No, but you have insurance, and you can do those things. You share the roads. I get that, Mike. But I think you're seeing it. I think you're seeing it from a non-enforceable way. I mean, the courts are already filled. Who's going to even insure your bicycle? Because I could steal your bicycle and go down the road. Who's going to know that I'm not Mike Graham?
Yeah, but the point is, my point is, Mike, if you are identifiable and your vehicle is identifiable, as it is the case for car drivers, for motorcyclists, for everybody else on the road, apart from cyclists, then why is it not good enough for cyclists?
Well, because where are you going to hang it? What are you going to put? How big is this thing you're going to hang on your bicycle to identify who you are?
We live in an era of digital technology, Mike. There is plenty of ways that you can identify bicycles. You can put a chip on them. There's any number of things you could do.
Well, you could be tracked, but again, you've got your mobile phone on you, which is sort of...
I don't. Yeah, but see, Mike, I don't understand. People who don't want this to happen have no good reason for actually saying we don't want it to happen, other than, oh, you can't do it, or it's impossible, or it's not enforceable. That's not a reason to protect people from cyclists running into them.
Yeah, but earlier you made that old adage. You were saying, "Oh, well, if you've got nothing to, you've got nothing to hide, don't worry about it." I think you're treading on dangerous water here, where you're trying to. You can't control.
You can't tread on dangerous water. You'd sink.
You can't control everything, Mike, and I think you just have to accept you're on the road, and there's people who choose to use bicycles, and it's not unenforceable. Perhaps if it was electric bike...
Well, why don't we just make everybody unidentifiable then? Why don't you just take, by your logic, you'd take the registration plate off all cars, wouldn't you?
No, because that's heavily regulated.
Well, why is that regulated and cyclists not?
Well, it's just the world we're in. Unless you're going to change how the motor vehicles are registered,
I'm afraid your logic is inconsistent with common sense, Mike, so I'm afraid you're wrong and I'm right, and it's as simple as that.